What's up, everyone? Okay, I'm back. Something a little different to today. I'm gonna get your hunt or haul video. I got a whole bunch of, well, I got stuff over there that I've picked up. My Vinegar Syndrome Black Friday box just finally came in. So I'll put all that in a video after. But I was thinking about something different and what I've been doing lately, like this hunting. I've been really focused on this like formula, like this like 5 steps per se. I'm like, you know what? Let me just share that with you guys and see if that's what you're doing, or if there's something you're not doing, if this helps anyone, if you're like, yeah, that's obvious, whatever. But for me, it's been proven, it's working, and I just keep doing it. But sometimes I'm called lucky. Yes, luck is involved. But there's also I want to call science to it. But there's work involved. So kind of took down some notes real quick, and I was like, you know what? I think I could think of something. Like these are the 5 steps per se that are helping me. So I'm going to share the 5 with you. Number 1, let's do it. Okay. All right. So what the basic step. This is easy. This is something most people probably hopefully do, but you have to scout. You have to research. You have to know where you're going. So I hear all the time, oh, I don't have a swap meet in my area. I don't have a this in my area. I don't have whatever. And I get it. So that's why you have to go like literally online, type in all those keywords, ask friends, family, get them all involved. Where can I go? So I like to do that. I'll spend a whole day sometimes just typing in, thrift stores, estate sale, yard sales, swap meets, flea markets, um, anything I can think of that will just trigger the mind. Movies for sale. Uh, so you could go, like those at the marketplace, for Facebook, stuff like that. Besides going online to purchase it, where you can go to a place to purchase, there'll be pop-ups sometimes of things. So you just have to research. I'll write it down. I'll write down addresses. Take notes. I got a little. I always have a notepad. I always have something with me for that stuff. If I'm out and about and I see something new but I don't have time to stop, mental note, take a picture, write it down, whatever. So you have to do your research. You build up this book of places. You start taking notes on, okay, that's a hot spot, not a hot spot. Never hit there. I've hit twice here. Like that kind of stuff. So you start focusing on certain areas. That's what I've done, and it's worked. So I've saved time, saved money and gas, not having to go where like, okay, I can wait a little longer. I don't need to go there every week because I know their rotation of new stuff is not going to happen. You start to pick up where the stuff does come in all the time. So yeah, you do your research, you scout out ahead of time. So that's the number one thing that's been to start off. Number 5, my 5 steps that I could think that would be perfect for you guys. Scout, research. What's part 2 though? Let's see. Okay, and we're back. Part 2. Um, this is kind of like branching off from part 1. After you've done your research, you plan your attack. You got your game plan now. You get the chalkboard out, start putting the circles and the X's up and drawing the plays. What that means is you map it out, because I've done this so many times and I've killed myself over it, zigzagging all around town in circles. Yeah, I look like Goofy playing, you know, old school cartoons, with the Goofy drawing his like plays on the board. That's what I look like, all over the damn place. So I started to learn you need to map it out. You need to like game plan. Today I'm focusing on thrift stores. Today I'm focusing on these stores. Today I'm focusing on this. It's so much easier, more efficient. It gives you something to do for the next time, because then you can kind of split it up. You don't just blow your load per se in one day. You you can get like 10 spots in, whereas another day if you zigzag you only got in like 4. So again, efficiency, it helps. If you don't have places to go, of course, in the first step, part 2, that's where ties in. Well, sorry, once you have the places to go from step 1, that's where part 2 comes in, because now you can start trekking it out. I've managed to, in the last 2 weekends, get in 10 spots within like 3 hours, and like 2.5, and it was pretty good timing, pretty good use of my time. I mean, so going and going and going like a machine. It's not as fun sometimes when you do it that way, but You know, like if you're just trying to like find something and get it done and you only have a little bit of time, it works. If you've got all day, do what you want. Zigzag around town, waste your gas. But I'm telling you, game plan, and you can spend more time at each store. You know, you can branch out. These particular locations that I did jam through just didn't have much. So that'll be for another video, as you'll see. But the game plan, definitely part two, plan it out. One step here to add stops, you know, on your maps, whatever, but makes it so much better. Plan a lunch somewhere in there. Make sure you're getting fed and, you know, bring your fluids. That's going to help for that day trip. But that's part two. So three, what could three be? Oh, three. You want to know what three is? Okay. That's mainly just don't give up. Never give up and keep going back. You're going to find after you found your places in step one and you've planned out your treks in step two and you've gone and you're going, you're like, I'm not finding anything. Like, okay. What I find a lot of times people do this, like they'll go and then they'll hunt again another weekend, try it again, and then they kind of just stop. They just give up because they haven't hit that home run. They haven't found what they're looking for. They're finding the same stuff. You can't stop. It's sometimes, yes, this is where it turns into a job. You keep going. You have to keep going, even when you don't want to, even when it's cold outside and you don't feel good and you have no gas and you have no money and the kids are crying and oh my God, everything. Just, you gotta go. Gotta go. You gotta find a moment. Whether some days it's only one store, some days it's 10 stores. One time it's 10 minutes on the, babe, I'm gonna go look at that real quick, and you're running over real quick to another store, or you know, whatever. You just gotta find a moment. You gotta find just a smidge of time. You gotta keep going back. You just can't give up. Even if a store is a dead end for months, go back, go back, go back. That's all I can tell you. Keep going back. I've had to go back to stores for years, uh, where I figure I'm not ever gonna find anything. I go back and I find like maybe the best thing I've ever found. So like that's what happens. It's just you just can't give up. You know. So that is step three. It's not even a step. It's just you got to incorporate that into your game plan. You don't give up. You keep going back. You never give up. So what's four though? Let's go to four. All right. So this is more of like personalizing my hunting thing. So this is part of me, of how I do it or why I do it, I guess. Because when I'm out hunting, I'm looking not for what just everyone else is picking up, I guess. You know, I'm looking for that weird oddity, the thing that you can't find anywhere else online. Because the whole point of hunting is that find, you know, stuff that's hard to find really. You can just go to Walmart and buy a new release, or you can go online and buy any like main studio release, you know, probably still in stock. Like, you gotta go out hunting looking for that weird stuff. You gotta find the shit that's like, if you don't, my rule of thumb basically, if you find it and there's a million of them on like the Bay and you know all the different sites that sell stuff, or even just at Walmart, you probably don't need it. You know, you can get that anytime. You know, it's gonna be there. Again, that's why it's there every day. Every time you go back, every time it's just sitting there. Oh, same movie 10 million times. You got to look for that weird one, of course. So this is common sense, obviously, but you, I get some people buying for flipping. I get it. I don't mind that either. If you find a movie that's dollar at the bin and it's worth $50 million online, awesome. You know, good for you. I love doing that myself. I don't flip, but I like finding the value in it. So if later on, some whatever reason, these movies have to go to someone, I have value. You know, at least turn my dollar into $20, maybe hopefully 50, who knows, much more. Some of these things are valued at crazy prices. I don't know why. For me, it's because I realize they're just going to come back and print for the most part. It seems like every couple of years, some new company or some company puts out a release of it. So if you wait long enough on a title, you probably are going to get it at a normal price. You don't need to spend thousands or hundreds of dollars. I'm sorry, thousands, that's a little bit, but hundreds of dollars on movies. But to each their own. You know, if you want something bad enough and it ain't, you can't wait, get it. But with that said, if you're out there and you scan it and it pops up, oh, it's like 25, 30, $50 online. And it's only like $1, $3, $5. $8, if it's like a third of the cost, quarter of what it's worth, you probably should pick it up, because that is an indication that it's not easy to find. It's wanted for the most part if it's getting completed sales, and you're gonna get a return on your investment if you don't like the movie. So if you get it, don't like it, you're gonna be able to trade it in somewhere or get some value out of it and get your money back. Because this stuff, it gets expensive, right? You start hunting and you get up to thousands and thousands of movies. This is not like we're dealing with chump change. So thousands of dollars are invested in this. You want to be able to like turn that dollar back into another dollar so you can keep buying. I'm a big procrastinator on finding that low end movie here that's worth this so I can trade it in for 3 or 4 movies. I may not flip it for money, but I'll flip a movie for movies for sure. I'll turn a movie into 4 all day. Used to do that back home all the time. Here it's a little harder to do, but anyways, that's mainly part of Life 4. It's a big crazy branch off spin, but it's that find value, buy what you want, don't buy what everyone else is, get the weird stuff, find the odd ones, take chances on those titles that you're like, what is this? Just look at it. Think of it as a chip towards something else, like a trade-in thing. Like find places that take movie trade-ins, find if they give you good value, and then kind of go from there. You'll learn like how to do it. You don't just overnight, okay, you get a big home run, but it happens. There's people on here that I've talked to, that I've met, great at what they do. And you know who you are. I don't have to mention you. But again, just keep doing that. So what's the last step? That's it, right? Well, that's all a lot already. 4 things to focus on. That should be a recipe for success right there. But what could 5 be? All right, number 5. 5. All right, so this is easy. It's basically just have fun. Make connections, talk to people, just make the day of it, really. Because if you're going to be out there doing this and you don't want it to turn into a job, you gotta have fun. So lately, that's what the other thing I've been doing. I'll just talk to random people looking at movies. They'll talk to me usually. Kind of strike up a conversation about anything that has to do with film. It's always good, talking to another film head and film lover. And the fun part of it, I mean, people watching, maybe just doing something like else while you're out real quick, just randomness, just try to have fun with it. If it's not fun and it does start turning into that job, just take a break. That's what I'll do every now and then. Just don't go out for the weekend. Like this weekend, probably not going out. Got my kids' baseball tryouts coming up. So we're going to try to get out there and practice a little bit, things like that. So take breaks, make sure you're having fun. If you want to do it for a job, then yeah, none of this is really going to probably apply except for the first 4 steps. Those will definitely apply to you. But if you're just in it for the collection, like me, if you just like good movies, like me, if you just like to watch them, like me, that's what I'm starting to turn my movie room into. I'm like, what do I do with these? They're not just sitting on a shelf. I watch them. So I made sure to get a nice big old comfy couch, and this whole fam could come in and we can just watch, because I love watching a movie, and I've been watching them. So I don't know what I'm going to watch next, actually. What should I watch? That's not what we're talking about. Oh, I just watched Undercover Brother, but yeah, we're not going to talk about movies like that in this particular one. We're just going to talk about how I get them and why I like hunting. So with that said, that's it. Just have fun. I'm not going to keep going on any further. You guys know what to do. Do those 5. So go back, rewatch if you like. Hit me up, comments, if you have a question. If you want to elaborate on something, me to elaborate. If you want to elaborate, if you just like to say something, do it. So what else? That's it. Later.